Hey, this is Matthew with BI Polar. In this episode of our series on being a PM at Microsoft, I'm going to talk about how to be a successful PM, you also need to be a scout. In this video, we're going to introduce the concept of having a scout mindset. I hope you'll stay with me. Welcome back. If you're new to the series, please make sure you check out the introductory video where I talk about my goals for the series. Essentially, I've been a PM at Microsoft for around 15 years, and I want to share with you the advice that no one shared with me when I first started. So if you're a PM at Microsoft today, if you're in a similar role or working at a similar organization, or if being a PM at Microsoft is part of your career goals, I hope that these videos will be valuable for you. In our last video, I talked about the concept of having a growth mindset, which is a key part of the Microsoft corporate culture today. In this video, I want to come at mindsets from a different perspective, and I want to talk about the importance of having a scout mindset. Now, the concept of a scout mindset is something that I found through the book from and YouTube videos by Julia Galef, who's a researcher studying people in psychology and what makes people work. And she has come up with this theory that I find applies very directly to the role of a PM, particularly when it comes to learning from customers and putting those learnings into action, core behaviors and core capabilities for product managers and technical program managers. In her book, Julia Galef talks about scouts and soldiers. And for this video, to take these concepts and to put them into the context of being a PM at Microsoft, I want to talk about three things. The first one is soldiers. If you think about the actual military, soldiers need to win battles, depending on where they are, like what their rank is, and their current assignment or their current role. They may simply be following orders, they may be giving orders, but the ultimate responsibility for a soldier is to accomplish the goals that they've been set. A soldier needs to win. And at some parts of a PM's life, or at different parts in the PM's ongoing rhythm of work and rhythm of business, a PM needs to be a soldier. When you are getting ready to ship a feature, all of the go-to-market activities around this to make sure that you're driving usage, that you are achieving the metrics and success criteria that you defined up front, you need to win for your feature to be successful. In my experience at Microsoft, especially back in the old days, this was a core behavior. It was part of the PM culture at Microsoft, where you would pitch, you would position, you would ensure that everybody knew, or at least everyone believed, that your feature would solve their problems. And having this soldier mindset is something that often comes naturally for the highly motivated type A personalities that tend to be PMs at large tech organizations. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. I do want to say being a soldier or having a soldier mindset, this is something that you need to be able to do from time to time, but it's not something that I see people struggling with. The second thing that I want to introduce is this concept of scouts and having a scout mindset, because this is something that I see a lot of PMs, including more experienced veteran PMs, struggle with compared to their strength at being a soldier. If we step back and again think about an actual military situation, a scout is someone that needs to determine, understand, and effectively communicate the reality on the ground. A scout needs to be able to go out early and proactively and understand these are the hills, these are the valleys, these are the rivers, these are the bridges across those rivers. This is where there are minefields. This is where there are enemy emplacements or where a given area may be susceptible to a given type of attack. And the scout learns these things and informs the soldiers so that the soldiers understand the ground on which they're fighting. They understand the conditions that they need to take into consideration for their success when they're when they're working to win, like when the soldiers are doing the things that the soldiers need to do. From a PM perspective, this scouting activity is really learning from your customers. And we've talked about this in past videos. There's a lot of context around this. But as a scout, you need to find both the path to success and the barriers or obstacles that will prevent you and your team and your feature and your product from achieving the success that you need. A scout needs to understand, who are our customers? What are their motivations? What are the problems that they have today? What's keeping them from achieving the things that they need? Also, what are their decision-making criteria? What are the competitors in the marketplace that will keep a given customer with a problem that our product or feature solves from choosing our product and instead choosing competitors or other option? And as a scout, very often you are the bearer of bad news. Going back to that military analogy, if you say there's a minefield here, the soldiers know to avoid the minefield, but very often in a corporate situation, not everyone is eager to hear about the challenges that lie ahead. So as a scout, you need to both understand the lay of the land, but also communicate it through storytelling in a way that people understand, that your colleagues, that the rest of your team, the rest of your org understands what it is that they need to take into consideration. And you need to be there to enable their successful navigation of the obstacles and the opportunities that you've identified. So the third thing that I want to mention is that as a PM, you need to be comfortable playing both roles at appropriate times. Being a soldier or playing the role of the soldier often comes naturally for a lot of people who work in tech, and this means that scouting often takes a back seat. So look for the opportunities, like be aware of the risks that are ahead, and be aware when no one else is playing the role of the scout so that you can step up and fill this vital role. Here's the deal. You need a scout on your team, and very often being the scout can be a career accelerator. This is that vital role that every team needs, that every product, every feature, every ship cycle needs, but very often everyone on the team is eager to be the soldier. This means that the value that you can bring to your team is often identifying the gaps in where your colleagues are working and scouting to ensure that the work that they're doing is going to be successful because of the work that you've done. And as a personal note, for the past 6 years or so, this has been my day-to-day job. I didn't know the concept when I was getting started. I hadn't found Julia Galef and her excellent work on having a scout mindset. But the things that have accelerated my career over the past 6 years have been through being almost exclusively a scout. And I hope that you will find both the opportunity to use these behaviors and that you're on a team and in an org that will value them as well. So love to hear if you've had success or maybe had challenges playing the scout before. Love to hear if this works for you. Either way, we'll see you next time.